All right, happy Friday, all you devils out there. Okay, here we go. Right, we're going to keep it relatively short and sweet today. There's for bulls, it's just a bit frustrating, but it's a good time to step back, take a longer term view of where we are in this cycle and what we might anticipate. Now, this is something nobody likes, right? I get it. I do. Nobody wants to look at something like a weekly chart. I mean, are you losing your bullish enthusiasm? You starting to doubt crypto, looking at that chart? What can we say objectively, right? From our December of 18 low through COVID, all of this, right? And most, I think, Elliotticians would agree. Despite the fact that it's tempting to look at this and go 3, 4. Oh, we didn't overlap the 1, put the 4 here and go. Well, when you take it out of log scale, it's almost impossible to do that. If I reset here, how are we going to not call that 4, 5, right? We're kind of stuck with that. So back to log scale here as we look. If this completes the impulse here and we get here through a double, through a combo, it's slight front run off the 50. We spare the pivot here. I know it's frustrating, right? It's like, oh shit, I want that Lambo now. I get that. But let's keep a little perspective here. Really? You're getting bearish? Or are you just getting impatient? Right, well, if you're getting impatient, I would tell you to take a break, right? Because that's when you start making mistakes, because you'll start to force something because you know, what is that? Yeah, it's your money and get it when you need it, right? No, trading doesn't work that way. You're just going to have to be patient here. I'm sorry, right? I'm mildly frustrated here that we can't seem to get out of this. But until you step back and look at it and go, really, we're expecting that this is going to be the 4 here, and we're just going to go. Okay, right? I understand that. Okay, hurry up, right? I want to be rich now. I say that a little facetiously, but I think there's a general sentiment in crypto because you consistently see stories of, Jesus, they're in my feed all the time. Crypto trader turns 5,000 into 5 million in 20 days, right? Do those stories happen? Yes, of course they do, but that's not the norm, right? You can't necessarily be thinking, why isn't that happening for me? Just a little perspective is all I'm after here. So again, we look at this here. Okay, again, what can I say objectively? I can say objectively, I've got 80% probability that we're getting there. Now, I don't know if we get there here. Here's the algo target. I don't know if we get here in 2027, but I know that 80% is still alive until we break this pivot. Oh, we're down here at 15 grand. I know. It's frustrating, right? We want it now, right? Welcome. That's just human nature, I suppose. So the real question is, if indeed we're going to come down lower here, and we're going to, here, let's get in there a little bit so you can see it better. If we're going to stall here, and so a couple of potential scenarios here. Well, I think it's pretty reasonable to anticipate that we're in a 4, right? We've stopped progressing the trend. So triangle, possible. An A, B, C with a deeper 4 down here, something along these lines here. It's pretty basic, right? Something like that to give us a nice 3 after this impulsive move here from what we do from 25 to damn near 75. So we're going to correct it right here. See, that's why stepping out to a weekly here gives you a little bit more perspective. Just go, okay, hold your horses, right? Okay, come on, yes, I see. I know which again, as I said, it's just human nature to say, go. But when it starts to, well, think of it this way, right? This is a dialogue, right? That you have between your own ears, right? You want it to go, right? It's just natural lust for more, right? Assuming you're a bull. But if it doesn't, what's your choice, right? You're going to bail? I suppose that's one possibility and say, oh, well, if it's coming lower here, I'll just bail now and buy it lower. It's a possibility. Well, I'm not saying don't do that. Now, depending on where you're long from, there might be some tax ramifications. Right? I mean, I personally would never sell my Bitcoin, right? It's like selling your beachfront property, right? They can't get it back. Now, you could buy some more back, right? But my view is if you need capital, right, just borrow against it. But I digress, right? Okay, 1, 2, where I've got this nice little channel. I'm going to hide the median lines here just to reduce the clutter and focus in a little bit more. Let me thicken that up. Here, we see a little bit better. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Here's the anchored VWAP from the 2. Really? We're so impatient we can't let that come into the highest probability location for a wave 4. We're too impatient for that. Maybe. Maybe that's us, and market just going to do what it's going to do, right? Market's under, as you hear me say this all the time, it's under no obligation to do anything ever. It's going to do what it's going to do. We're just trying to interpret what's most likely. Well, if you're looking at that chart, see, this is the thing. If that were any other chart other than Bitcoin, and you didn't know what time frame it was, and I just pulled up that chart and I told you it was a 5-minute chart, same reaction? Or would you be thinking, oh God, come down here, I'd love to buy it there. And look at that. Well, look at the potential there. Well, this is the target from the front run on the 50 here, but that would sure make for an awfully good looking impulse, would it not? Right? Oh shit, the right look. Do we have the right look? Yeah, that would be the right look. So just chillax a little bit here, guys and gals. You see, the real question, the real test for you as the trader, if it starts to come down, do you panic, or are you evaluating where your next opportunity is to buy some? Right. If I can buy some in the low mid 50s, I'll be buying. Now, of course, that's just me, right? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, okay, right? You're like, oh, when it's going up, you're like, oh God, maybe it'll come back down. I can buy it at a lower price, and then it starts to come back down, and then are you too afraid to buy it? Oh my God, it's coming down. I can't buy it. Well, that's pretty typical sentiment amongst inexperienced or traders that are, let me say it this way, that are new to the market, haven't been through a cycle like this. It'll test you. It'll test your conviction, right? Now, when I say that, I don't necessarily just mean your conviction in crypto as a meaningful asset class for our future for the next 50 years. I mean, can you be patient? You look at that chart and you go, would you be bearish? Would you really? I think not. Let's get off of Bitcoin here. Well, let's go to the daily quickly. Right? It's not particularly good. Well, so here we look at the daily. This is right now. There's almost no way to tell this, right? So we since we have a double here, it's tempting to go, oh, okay, 1. Well, we're coming down for the 2 here. Okay, and then we keep going. Well, not so fast. Oh, here I know this is. Get some of this out of here. I mean, again. I mean, we've been here. We've been in this pocket. Right? So how many Friday videos have I done here? We're a little bit above, a little bit below. We're just in the range here of value. Now we're on the lower end of the range, right? Does that mean buy it? Well, maybe. But you got to look at this and say, okay, well, what's the alternative? Well, if the 4 is going to be deeper, couldn't this be a 3 W? This would have to be an X done this way, and then we're going to do some sort of a 3 to bring it down here. Maybe a little deeper here, something like that to bring it down here. Where are we at? Mid-50s. Right now we come back here and we go, wait a second, mid-50s. Mid-50s. Now, maybe we don't know, right? See, that's the thing, right? So is it AB? Oh, shit. Is it going to be 3, 3, 3, 3, 3? It's going to be a triangle? No way to know. No way to know until the market has to reveal a little bit more. But again, I take you out to the weekly chart and go, oh, come on, man. What I got down here? There's the logarithmic MACD. Okay, right, it's crossed below. Seller's market. Oh, here's our EWO. Again, if you didn't know what it was, and I brought this up and you didn't know the time frame, 1, 2, 3, right? Would you, seriously, you're bearish? I think not. I mean, you can label it right here. 1, 2, 3. Now 4, right, often will come closer to that 0 line. 5. It's a little too much stress, I think, amongst crypto traders. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Oh, let's get over to, let's go to total market cap, then we'll look at ETH. This does look like we're on our way to a triangle. Now, again, it's just impossible to tell, right? 3, we're going to do this, right? It was the same thing. We'd be right at the 38 before we go up. But of course, we could do the little triangle, A, B, C, D, E, and launch from here. We would still be in the highest probability location for a wave 4. I think the freakout's a little premature. Okay, so let's go to total. Let's go to ETH. Oh shit, I had it over here. Oh, let's look at ETH on the weekly. Now this is a little trickier than Bitcoin, I actually think. Impulse, correct. 1, that's mighty. That's our COVID low. 1, 2, you're kind of stuck with it. Now here, same thing, right? It's easy to look at this if you're following my suggestion here to get out and take a look at your weeklies. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very tempting to think, oh, wait a minute. Couldn't that be the 3 and the 4s here, right? Very, very tempting to think that, right? In log scale. Well, slow down. Right, look at this out of log, right? I feel you. I did the same thing, right? Now, if we're out of log here, right? I'm not going to call that the 4. I think we're kind of stuck with that. I think we are, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It's close, but it's a full-blown impulse. So I do think we're stuck with that, even though it doesn't look quite as good here in log scale. All right, let's dig in a little further there. Okay, what do we have here? 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, that's been our count all along, right? I mean, since this pivot since we took this pivot out here and then retraced, I wasn't going to be 3. So we've got 1, 2, 1, 2. There are some, right? I've seen some talented Elliotticians going with another 1, 2 here. I think too soon for that, right? Right now, what's the simplest thing you can say, right? Often simple is the solution. Now, of course, we take that at a log scale. It's a different story, and it has a different look. We don't quite make the 2, 6, 1, 8. Let's get you back settled here. Didn't quite make 2, 6 or the 1, 6, 1, 8 in log scale. But interestingly enough, right? If I do the 1 from the proposed 2 log scale, get it right on there. I mean, we're tick off of it. 1, 2, but I don't quite have a 3 unless I were to do this. Now, right look. Well, that's where right look starts to have some meaning. Does that have the right look? No. Could that be the count we end up with? Yes. Is that what I think it is? No. Simply because it's totally imbalanced, right? The 2 to the 4 doesn't quite have the right look, the right time balance, right? Again, is the market obligated to balance out, right, and have the right look? No, it's not. But what else do you have to go on? You got to make a wag here because it's not clear, right? So given the push here, I'd be more inclined to put the 3 and the fact that we're stalling, right? So this now becomes, again, just like we're looking at Bitcoin. All of a sudden, we had a trend. Now we're stalling in the trend, right? So that's commonly what you're going to experience, what a 4 looks like. Okay, trend is stalling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Triangle, maybe. Deeper. Let's get this out of here. Deeper from a 2 to a 4. Well, again, same idea. Let's get our wave 4 template in there. We got the 38 already, so a triangle popping in here. It's always too difficult to predict a triangle, right? Because A, B, all of a sudden the C's down lower. We don't know. What we're just kind of watching here is the market. The bottom line is there's no trade to make here. But don't feel like, oh shit, I got to do something. No, doing nothing is a very deliberate choice for a trader. Just recognizing you don't have an edge. The edge we have is the trend. Trend is why I don't think there's much dispute about the direction of the trend. But is the timing right for re-entry here? Now this is, pardon me, I'm on a 3-day here. I think I was on weekly. And I popped it down to a 3-day just to get a better look at it. Okay, well let's just, again, same stuff as always. Right? Channeling, very important to an Elliottician. You're bearish? With that? With that, again, you didn't know what it was, you're bearish? I don't think so. I do not think so. Okay, so there's a lot of hurry up and wait here. Now, okay, it's summer. Maybe get your face out of the screen a little bit, right? If you're not doing this for a living, right? It's not terrible to step back a little bit, let the market do what it's going to do. I'm not saying don't check it, but maybe you don't have to check it 75 times a day, unless you're trading off of a 5-minute or a 1-minute. Big picture, no change. We just got through the CPI. The stock market puts in new highs every day. Risk. These variables going on and what miners are doing, and some of the on-chain dynamics are not necessarily positive at the moment. But it's easy to get caught up in that. Oh God, I better check the on-chain metrics here, see what's going on. I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm saying everything that can be known, whether on-chain or off-chain, is reflected in that price. That's what the technician assumes. That's the first assumption you make. I'm not saying disregard the fundamentals. And I'm saying don't, if you're interested, go and dig in. We've done a couple of webinars with the Sentiment guys, with Brian from Sentiment, who's a master at that stuff. But at the end of the day, whether you're looking at on-chain metrics or you're just looking at a price action chart, everything that can be known at this moment in time is reflected in that price. It's okay. Does that look bearish? Again, there's no knowing. There's only identification of what markets that are trending and that are in bull runs look like. Does that look like it's correct? I'm kind of repeating myself. I think we've got that established. 3-day, what am I at? 16 minutes. I took a spin around some alts. There's nothing that looks particularly good. The one thing that was very close here, and it's right here. We'll take a quick peek at this. This is one I've been watching closely here. Now we just tagged the golden zone. All right, so this is Link. What do I got? There's a daily. We just tagged it. That's what I got below. Oh, this is one somebody referred me to. This is a stochastic momentum index with the money flow index built into it. Right now, that's just had a little cross here. So you're literally in the golden zone. Now that it's on a daily, sitting in the golden zone with this little cross here, you're at a fair value gap. Buy it. Well, let's go down to something like an hourly. Right? I want to see a reaction there. You don't want to buy it just because it's tapped the golden zone. We want to see a reaction there. Just because the algo's there doesn't mean it can't break. Right? Well, I think we've established that pretty clearly. Right? If this breaks, well, that means it's another one likely succeeded. So maybe it's right here. I'm just eyeballing. Looks like you'd have one right here, right? It's always another one on the other side. Always, always, always. You can't forget that. Back here, one of these, let's see. It looks like they use this, right? So, okay, if it breaks, we will know why. And we will lose the buy-side algo at this degree. But if we come down here and break this guy, how do we get another algo back? Boom. Right, that's where you get him. He's not leaving town. Now, do I have this? Do I know that's coming? No, I don't, right? Of course. But that's where you're going to pick it up. So if it breaks here, it's not, oh my God, all is lost. We've broken the golden zone on the 60-minute. No. I mean, I'm long. I'd like to see it hold. But I'm not adding here until I see a reaction come out of that. I want to see it. That's 60's plenty, right? I want to see something like this here. Perfect example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, but it didn't hold. Just because you get the 5 doesn't mean that, oh shit, we're off to the new highs. But that's a trade setup that this kind of thing I'd be looking for right here. It's a little skinny on the 3. Good example, right? Just because they're there doesn't mean they don't break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, right to the golden zone. Right there. Right, buy O. Now, also a good example of money management here. If you're buying this here, you don't need, you give it, maybe you're using 707, something like that. You're out right here, especially if you're trading with leverage. that's an important piece, right? I go on and on and on and on about how dominant this algo is, but that doesn't mean they don't break. Of course, one side always breaks. Every successful algo measured move I've ever shown you means that there was one on the other side that broke. Right? That's just the reality of it. Is this guy going to hold? Be interesting to see, right? Next week we'll come back here and take a peek at that. See if it held. Is this the one they used right here? There's the we're going to know pretty quickly, right? Now, remember, if we tag an algo target, that's not a buy signal. But if it reacts there, we understand what's happening. That's all we're trying to do. It's like, oh, why here? Why does it stop here? Why does it stop here? Why is it stalling right here? Well, we know why. That doesn't mean it's not going to break, but we know why it's pausing here. I got big fair value gaps to try and reclaim. To mitigate, I'd have, this would be, inducement, you're going to have to sweep this because this is all one move lower. So before we can confirm a low in, we'd have to take out this pivot high. So right now, that's a little tenuous. That is not a, oh, shit, let's get it. That is. That I would buy. Right there. Where's your stop? It's controlled risk, right? That's the idea, right? We don't know. There is no knowing in the market, but I can control how I respond to it and what kind of risk I put on and how much risk I allow, right? That's really all you get to do, right? Analyze and then control the risk, right? That is the game you're playing. This, right, as you've heard me say 1,000 times, the TA, that's the fun part. Now, once you're in the market, it's a different skill set. That's where discipline. It's not a fear of the market. It's a respect of the market and how quickly it can take. You've heard me say many for years, right? It takes aggressively. It gives reluctantly. So don't let it take. Because if you let it take more, and I mean, there should be a reasonable amount that you have agreed to. You make a deal with yourself. I'm willing to risk X amount of dollars because I believe my analysis is accurate. So I think I have an edge. As a result of that, I'm willing to put money at risk because of that very edge that I've deduced that I have. If you take up any more risk than that, you've done it to yourself. And now you're no longer in control. Right now, your emotions are in control because then what's the next thing you're thinking? Oh, shit, oh, fuck, I better give it a little more room. Oh, fuck, I didn't want to get stopped out. Well, then a small loser becomes a medium-sized loser. Oh, fuck, well, shit, I'm so far in now. Maybe I'll average down. Maybe I'll buy some more. Oh, fuck. Well, all right, okay, just one more. And before you know it, you're down here and you've blown up your account. Right? This happens every single day. Every single day. I watched many people do it. I was a broker for 10 years, right? When in that position back then, you couldn't tell them what to do. You have to say, well, okay, if that's what you want to do, are you sure that's what you want to do? Okay, well, you're the client, you're the boss. I watched so many people blow up accounts. Again, that was my learning ground. So I speak from not just my own experience, but watching from, thousands of people, how they experience the market. Excuse me. Okay. I'm rambling. 23. I got nothing here that I'm particularly enthusiastic about. Now, Monday, if we get a pop out of here, Wednesday, as we're doing the live stream next week, maybe, right, we'll come back here and say, oh, okay, no, I can't be here to tell you if you get this. I can't be there necessarily, depending on when that happens, to say buy it. But what I can say is if you're looking for something like that, don't control your risk. Put your stop there. Take the fucking stop, and then reevaluate. Do you still like it? Do I need to pull from a different pivot? But never do this. Right? It's just I'm gonna said it for a long time, right? And it doesn't matter how many times I tell you. Right? There'll be somebody who hears this who'll do it anyway. It's just human nature. Okay, guys, that's all I got. We'll hit it hopefully with some better looking setups next week. But I remind you. I know, it's frustrating. Let's get out to that. You bearish? You're bearish? Or just impatient? You decide. Okay, guys, have a good weekend.